What is up, everybody? My name is Hector Flores, host of the Insert Name FC podcast, a member of the Belly of Sports Media Network. You can find us on all things podcasting, Apple, Spotify, where you get your podcast fixed from. Those are audio versions there. Also, if you want to watch the full video version of this episode, you can find us at Belly Up Sports on YouTube. So just look up Belly Up Sports and you will find us there, amongst other great shows made over there by Belly Up Sports, like High Low Sports, Corner Booth Pod, 1420, and so much more, man. So this episode, you kind of notice my voice is a little raspy, and it's because I was at a concert. So went to go see Avenged Sevenfold, drove up to Dallas to go see them. It was Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte. Good Charlotte was the opening act, and then Avenged Sevenfold came in. For those of you guys who don't know me personally, Avenged Sevenfold is my favorite band. Like, that is my band. That's the band I follow through thick and thin, through the weirdness and the goodness. And for me, I don't question the weirdness because I kind of understanding the band. I kind of knew that this was the route they would go to. Statica was an interesting journey. There's some things I like about their songs, obviously, that I still can't get through. It's only 4 songs, but out of I think I like 3 out of the 4. So I still listen to it regardless. It's like I said, it's Avenged Sevenfold. It's my favorite band. They've always been weird, and I like it. But yeah, went to go see their show. It's awesome. Whenever there's a chance I get to see Avenged Sevenfold live, I'm going to take it. It was a great show, and that was awesome. But obviously, you guys aren't here to talk about Avenged Sevenfold. You guys want to hear me and Edward, because Edward's here. Edward's here for this episode. So Edward's going to be here to talk some craziness. We have to talk about what went down in the Philadelphia Union Inter Miami game. We're going to talk about a Nations League merger. If you guys don't know, there's 2 confederations that are that do Nations League, and so we're going to talk about that. And then, of course, there's some big transfers that happened, and of course, 2 of the big ones that we're going to talk about do in some way impact Edward. So we'll talk to Edward about his thoughts of the 2 new, one new addition, one he's been there, but they kind of just made the announcement of him. So lots to discuss. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good show, man. Sit back, relax. And we're going to take a break and then go right into headlines with Edward.
Looking for sports coverage with attitude? Welcome to Belly Up Sports, where the takes are bold, the jokes are reckless, and no topic is off limits. From articles that'll make you rethink your fandom to podcasts that sound like your group chat during a playoff game, Belly Up Sports delivers the sports content you actually want. So ditch the bland and head to bellyupsports.com and follow Belly Up Sports on all socials. Belly Up Sports. We're not just a network. We're the voice of the fans.
All right, guys. It's Edward, myself, and here to talk about some more stuff involving the beautiful game, or maybe not so much beautiful this week, but we're here to talk about it. Obviously, La Liga is now in full swing. Real Madrid and Barcelona finally played their first matches of the season. Of course, Arsenal handled business against Coventry. I got to say, Edward, so obviously, Edward knows I went to Dallas to go see Avenged Sevenfold. I linked up with Jose Tejas of Goals TV, and he invited me to go to this place called Cosm. Edward, I don't know if you're familiar with Cosm.
No, I'm not.
It is essentially this, like, I guess like a venue where you can go watch live matches. And it's like you feel like you're in the state. It's like they have like IMAX level cameras, right, at the stadiums, and they have them in all different angles at the stadium. So you actually kind of feel like you're in the game. As a matter of fact, as soon as we walked in, I felt like I was in the Emirates. So because Arsenal was playing Coventry City, sick view. It was awesome. Shout out to Jose Tejas. Obviously invited me because Jose lives in Dallas, so we went to go watch it. Watch the match. Match was great. Obviously 3-0 victory for Arsenal. Strong performance. Odegaard gets another one back in the net. But yeah, good performance from Arsenal. Way to kick off the season. Coventry City. We'll see what happens with you guys. We'll see. It doesn't help that also, what's his name? Haji Wright. He is going to be out. I think he's dealing with an injury. So it'll probably be a while before we see him make his appearance in the Premier League, which that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
But yeah, man. So Cosmo, really cool. Avenged Sevenfold, obviously cool. Also, I forgot how many bangers Good Charlotte has. Like, I mean, like, yeah, it was cool that one. It was like, obviously, Avenged Sevenfold, Good Charlotte, but then like, I was like, I don't really remember many of the Good Charlotte songs. I remember Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. I'm trying to think of all the other songs I remember. The River, of course, I know about the River just because that obviously has M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold in it. And then Boys and Girls. I think that's the only ones I think I know. Or Just Like You. The anthem, and that's thanks to Matt.
The anthem, yeah.
So that was like, I don't know many songs, and dude, like, I kid you not, man. As soon as like their set list went off, I was like, oh shoot, I remember this song.
Right.
So I forgot Predictable, which is a banger, by the way. I might have to go back and just like listen to all Good Charlotte's anthem albums. Cause man, like it brought me back, man. It made me think of our days when we were like in middle school, and it's kind of funny how these two bands have such like a cool connection when they're like completely different as far as like their music is. So
yeah,
cool experience, but yeah, man, it was awesome, and obviously you guys aren't here to hear me talk about that, but Cosm, really cool, man. I believe there's a location in Los Angeles, so for anybody of our listeners that are from Los Angeles, go check it out. It's really cool. If you guys are in the Dallas area or ever go to Dallas, go check it out in Dallas, man. They also do like, I think that when I was there, they're doing like a Harry Potter thing later on that day. I think they're going to do it. So obviously they do more than just sporting events, but really awesome. Makes you feel like you're in the stadium. If you're terrible with IMAX, maybe don't go. But if you can't handle an IMAX movie, maybe you shouldn't go. So, and that includes my older brother, because he was about to puke when I think went to go see Venom on IMAX. So,
oh dang,
yeah, it's not. I get it. Especially if you're not good with like
motion sickness,
bro. Imagine if you would an IMAX, like going to go see Top Gun over there in college, because it's like it's more than it's times 20 compared to IMAX. But like, yeah, it's awesome. Like if we ever go to Dallas, we might have to go. We might have to go check it out.
All right.
So, but yeah, let's get into the headlines today, and we're gonna start things off with our first one, and that is the Bash Brothers. That's right, guys, right there. If you guys are watching the video version, obviously you guys see it to the screen, but if it's just the audio, well, you're missing out on a cool graphic. But yeah, man, Kevin Sullivan, Quinn Sullivan, and the crazy fest of this match in Major League Soccer in Philadelphia Union taking on Inter Miami. First of all, if you guys, I get it. If you guys don't like MLS, I get it. Whatever. But there is some moments like this where it's just, and I mean, maybe fighting isn't the reason why you want to watch a sport. But I mean, when Edward and I, we grew up on watching Liga MX, we grew up watching, CONCACAF in general. So like physicality kind of just goes with it. And honestly, like, I'm not saying that this was the highlight of the game, because honestly, Inter Miami, I think, had a stellar performance, and then Philadelphia to come in and come back to end it in a 2-2 draw. It's a good game. I think at the end of the day, it's still soccer. I don't know, or I don't see where the issue is. Like, is the quality the same as Europe? Absolutely not. But does it get your attention? This got my attention. So there, there's things to it, man. Like I tell people all the time, dude, I watch Salvadorian League. So it
gets physical. It
gets physical. Do I want to say do I call it football? You could stretch the word football on that one. But at the end of the day, it's an attractive product. The game is still the game. Like I'm sure Edward's watched MLS matches before, and I don't think Edward feels like he's not watching like a match, And I'm not here to put words in Edward. So
no, I mean, I feel what you're saying. I mean, I remember the last time it was a Dynamo match I went to when it was an MLS match. I forgot who it was, but then even after that, we saw Inter Miami versus Tigres, and it was a fun match to watch. Just I guess maybe the I guess you can call it the style of play. It's something that I'm not used to, but the atmosphere was great. It was the Tigres fan and the Inter Miami fans, also the Messi fans, because honestly that's we
But it's
were
probably
hoping he
more
was gonna
so. It
be
was
there.
probably more Messi fans than it was Inter Miami fans. But
Yeah,
I get the attempt. But anyway, so in this match, like I said, Philadelphia comeback 2-2 draw against Inter Miami. But what the real story was, and the reason why we're highlighting the Sullivan brothers, is that there was an altercation that happened in this match, and there was a point in the match where Ian Frey essentially got tangled up with Quinn Sullivan. Obviously, things it happens when you're playing the matches. Quinn Sullivan, you guys don't know, is an attacking forward. So he gets tangled up with Ian Frey. Quinn Sullivan, obviously frustrated, ends up picking him up and just basically body slamming him like it's a WWE match, which you know what? Hey, props to Quinn Sullivan, because if people thought that soccer players weren't physically strong, I think he just proved his point.
that proves him wrong. Yeah, no, and it's funny because like the way you said it too, I feel like I already know somebody already has like a meme out there, a video already of him body slamming, and then you either get the "It's John Cena" and then just hear the slam, or like, "Oh my God, here comes the rock bottom," or the body slam, and then like
That man has a
remember
family.
no remember Randy Orton's scoop slam. That was, to me, that was one of my favorite body slams because he was just he looked like he was just kind of dazed, and all of a sudden just quick scoop. It was like pa. And so I was like, man, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a video like that. But yeah, like
If not, there
Hector's
should
right.
be.
Yeah.
If not, there
Hector's
should
right.
be.
Hector's right though. There is a lot of how do I say this? It's a lot of physicality in the MLS leagues. Like there is. So I can't say, oh, like like Hector said, it catches your attention. There's a lot of heated moments, especially
Mhm.
because you got one. It's like you got, basically, let's put it this way, a star-studded cast in Inter Miami. You know, you got Messi, Suarez. Who else do they have? Because I'm Busquets is not
Casemiro
playing.
now, Reguilon.
Casemiro. Oh yeah,
Okay, I
Reguilón.
guess maybe start Jason with Reggie Young. I don't think many people will.
I
I
mean,
mean, obviously we
I remember
identify
said,
him
yeah, we
because
had we know him, we know him, but it's like people want to see these players play, and when they
Mhm.
get manhandled and they get a little bit heated, their tempers start flaring up because they're like, yo, it shouldn't be this hard because and we say it this way, these players consider the MLS, hence Latan's words, like not one of the big leagues, so when somebody actually goes toe to toe with them, starts giving them a hard time, whether it's physical because of the score or because like they're just fouling, so like we'll foul them back kind of stuff. It's like it gets under the skin. So I mean, I can see this is where I guess you can say the eye-catching moments come through for MLS.
no, yeah, exactly, and I think and obviously with that happening, it led to this massive. And obviously, whenever everything gets like heated in that moment, obviously, teammates are going to jump in and get involved, right? And so that's exactly what
Hmm.
happened. And then Yannick Bright just happens to be there, and then that's when you see Caven, the little brother, right? The 16-year-old that obviously once he turns 18, he will be joining the ranks of Manchester City. At least those rumors are still very much there, right? And so I think that that's going to be once again a story that, and I mean we mentioned it multiple times, right, at this point, that we're going to probably see those brothers like keep going at it. But well, maybe not so much the brothers, but I mean Quinn, I believe that he did get a call up with the U.S. men's national team, though. To be fair, we'll see what happens with those guys. Um, and yeah, so Caven, like I said, 16 years old, sees his brothers needs help, so he goes out there and does what a brother's gonna do, and that was to uh protect his brother. And obviously him and Yannick Bright, they got into it. to the point where each one ended up throwing a blow to each other. So, like, I guess throwing a blow is kind of a stretch. It wasn't like clearly it didn't impact any of these guys either in either way, not at all. But it's still like it happened, and so both of them got red carded immediately, and so that's what happens. At the end of the day, it's what's going to happen. But yeah, so they got it. They both got red cards, immediately ejected. And you thought that was basically it, right? At least you thought it was actually it. No, it wasn't, because as the game continued progressing, obviously now the game is even more heated. Messi ends up, having a moment where he connected with Quinn Sullivan. Quinn Sullivan probably at this point has just finally had it with everything, and so he just says, "You know what, F this," and then throws ends up going like head to head with Lionel Messi, and then you get the image. Then to later find out that Messi is now getting fined. He's not getting suspended, but he will be getting a fine from the incident in general. So there is that. So, but yeah, no, then it happened, and I don't know, man. I don't really know what much else to say at this point. I think obviously it comes with it in the sport when you do get physical, especially when you get in a fight, you're gonna get fined. I do believe Philadelphia is looking to appeal it because I guess they're trying to say Caven's punch wasn't necessarily as great as they make it sound. So
it wasn't a falcon punch, is what they're saying.
Yeah, so
it was a left tap.
Yeah, everybody's getting fined. Obviously the guys that got red cards are getting suspended. Clearly, but yeah, even Quinn's getting a fine as well. So all in all, it happens. It's part of the game. If you're like me and Edward that have watched plenty of CONCACAF, plenty of Liga MX, the physicality part, it's gonna happen. And if you're not ready for it, you're gonna obviously the big part is if the player knows they did their job when you're getting to that point, right? When you're getting so angry that you're ready to throw hands because they're not getting in trouble. Obviously, everyone got in trouble here. But more than likely, if the player is like, look, I can't beat this guy straight 1v1 with talent and everything like that, right? I can't beat him. But what I can do is piss him off.
Yep. And
in pissing him off, I can get him in trouble and, get him out of the game.
Get him in trouble. Exactly. Get him in trouble. Basically, get in his head. Like, that's the thing. A lot of people say, oh, well, it's not a physical game. How many times have we seen it where just words or it just gets a player heated to where they either start playing very aggressive or they're just like, no, like they just start whining to the ref, and then the game, the whole game dynamic starts changing.
I mean, prime example, how Bosnia wanted to handle Balogun.
Yeah.
The whole game was like, hey, man, this kid is scoring goals. Obviously, he's clearly the U.S.'s best player right now. Let's get him out of the game. And what they do, they pushed him, they threw him around, whatever they could do to get him off his game, they did it. Obviously, you saw Balogun get frustrated, you saw him get angry, and then say what you want about the tackle, whether you thought it was a red card, whether you thought it was an accident, blase, whatever you want to say. He hit him. He hit the back of his calf with his spikes. At the end of the day, it should be a red card. I get the argument that Messi did the same thing and nothing was called. But let's be honest, that's also Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
So, not saying that it was right or wrong. Messi should have probably got a red card. But
poster child. Okay.
poster child is for. But at the end of the day, man, like, I mean, that's what certain type of players are going to do that in some way. Prime example, Diego Simeone is another one, right? When he was like, I can't beat David Beckham, but I sure can piss him off. And so, and that's how we got the notorious red card.
Yep.
So
with that with that fall, and then as soon as the kick happened, and that's when he
So yeah, I mean, it is part of the game. Maybe some people think it's stupid, and I maybe agree with you, but it is a strategy, and it's a strategy that has shown that it works. So but yeah, guys got suspended. I believe they're going to try to get that red card at least appealed for Caven, because honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, he's kind of important right now to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia needs to get this guy playing as much as they can because you're gonna lose him. You're gonna lose him when he turns 18. I say this a lot on the show because I just want to emphasize more. This kid, I think, since he's gotten his chances, has done a lot of good stuff. Edward, hopefully, you get to watch some Kevin Sullivan matches before he, hopefully, he goes into Manchester City where he'll be sent on a series of loans, and just so you can see for yourself, man. I know that I kind of maybe I'm now sounding like I'm overhyping this kid, but like I got to watch this kid in the academy level, and already at 13 playing at the U15 level, that's impressive. Like that's impressive to me. And so, he's clearly a talented kid. I think that obviously there's a reason why he became the youngest player in MLS history to play a match and all that. But obviously beating Freddie Adu's record. But he needs to play more. He needs to get more minutes. He needs to play against grown men. And for those people that are like, Yannick Bryce should get more punishment because he assaulted a minor. He signed a pro contract.
Yeah.
He signed a pro contract. And I know that sounds so stupid, right? Like it sounds stupid to say like, oh, so now I can punch a minor if he signs a professional contract. Yes or no? It's like that one UFC
basically,
fighter, right?
It's a question. It's a questioning of ethics at this point.
It's that UFC fighter, right? The high school student. The dude is fighting the UFC. Like, what is his opponent supposed to do? Not punch him? Like, I mean,
what was it? What, are you talking about Sage Northcutt when he came out? Like,
no, what's the Hispanic dude, the one that says Chiwiwi?
Dang.
That's the only thing I know him for. I have no idea what his name is.
Yeah, I was like, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, like he was in high school. Like he was still in high school when he was getting into UFC, these UFC fights. But I don't know what happened to him. But that's not important. But anyways, like he signed a pro contract. He's playing professionally. Look, the kid is in a professional locker room. Like there's so many things that I think is kind of funny when you think about that. Like this guy is in a locker room with grown men. He still has to do the things that is required to be part of a team. If we're gonna limit to him, like, oh, he's just a child, he can't be there. That's taking him away from him building with his teammates as well.
Yeah,
and I know this sounds so bad, but this is also like this is in every sport. Like Lionel Messi, when he got called up to Barcelona, he had to do these same exact things. Like if that's the case, if we can't let these like promising 16, 15-year-olds get their opportunities with their team, like Lamine Yamal, if we're gonna be scared of letting these guys just because they're quote unquote a child, but if they're good enough to be a professional player.
Bro, Lamine Yamal was balling out at 17.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, what are we gonna do? Keep protecting them? Is like if the club has literally looked at them and say, hey, you're good enough to play with the first team, you're good enough to go out there and play against grown men this is their livelihood.
Yeah.
It's a little different when you're Kevin Sullivan, who once he's done with the practice and the matches, he goes home and gets a nice home cooked meal by his mom. I envy that. But I mean, at the end, that was my whole point. Is like we can't baby them. We can't pick and choose when we're gonna say they're a child or not. Kevin Sullivan is a professional athlete. He threw himself into a situation where things got very much physical, and I don't want to say he got punched, but he got swung at, right? Like there was contact from the fist. So like he's in that environment now. Like things are gonna get hostile, things are gonna get physical, things are gonna get heated, and like what is Kevin supposed to do? Just let his brother get surrounded by a bunch of Inter Miami players? He's not gonna do that. Yeah. So not just because it's his brother, but that's his teammate. So I'm sure if Edward got put in a situation, which Edward, it'd be the funniest thing if he ever been in a situation where someone's mad at him. At least to that level, because Edward.
If anything, I should have been the one being mad to somebody. Remember all the fouls we were getting on? I mean, I got in the middle.
You were a magnet for fouls.
But remember what happened with when we were playing at Swiss on Friday, and then all of a sudden, Crack went ahead and he was letting that other dude just get under his skin, and then that's when everything just lashed out. And that's when I went in between and I got Crack and I got him out of like the freaking tunnel of people. I told him, hey, I was like, just walk out. Don't even fucking acknowledge him. I was like, they ended up canceling the game because they were like, you know what, like we don't need to be doing this. Like grown ass men fighting over here, like doing this stupid shit.
See,
Like,
that's
nah.
that's different because that's like well, I mean, it's equivalent to Sunday League. It's a beer league. It's
Yeah.
like if you take that seriously, like there's, like we're not getting paid. We're paying to do
No,
this.
exactly, and that's exactly what I told Nelson that I was like, dude, I was like, I'm just trying to play, and I'm trying to go home in one piece. I was like, I'm not getting paid to play, and here
Yeah,
comes the
this is
institution
different.
of the U.S. pay to
This is
play. You
this
know,
is different. This is. I have so many things to say about pay to play, but I'll refrain that for another topic. But I mean, like I think that obviously these guys are professional athletes in any sport. Things are gonna get physical. Things are gonna get heated. This is gonna be always the weird thing about when it comes to these players that are of a younger age, especially like Kevin Sullivan. And obviously, I think MLS it's a little bit different just because of the fact that like there's not many 16, 15, 17-year-olds. There are some. Not saying that there's a lot, but there is not as many as you think. And as hopefully as MLS Next Pro, MLS Next, once that gets more and more established, maybe we see a lot more coming through the ranks. But right now, Kevin Sullivan, he's kind of just a man on his own right now, just dealing with it. But I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's fine for him wanting to get involved. I don't think that Yannick Bright should be going to jail for assaulting a minor by any means, because at the end of the day, he signed a contract. He signed that he was going to handle whatever is going to be given to him as a professional player. He's now in a professional environment, which is kind of funny when we were talking about like the least professional thing to do is fight in a match. But it's part of the game at the end.
let me bring this up. I'm gonna bring this up. This is totally not really of a topic of conversation of this, but do you know how how you just said it yourself, like, oh, grown ass man hit a 16-year-old, in the field, whatever. Um, you know how they say, oh, well, now it almost maybe it's you see a lot more 16-year-olds that playing in the MLS now with like pro contracts and stuff like that. Um, do you know how they always joke around how in England, how in Europe, they basically the drinking age is a lot younger?
Mm-hmm.
And then do you think that they're probably going to end up changing the drinking age just because now there's going to be like 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds playing in professional league soccer? You know what I mean? 'Cause it just made me think like how I mean maybe that's the reason why they have the rule that they can drink so early over there in Europe. It's like because you got these kids who are hanging out with grown men talking about like I'm a grown ass man too, but I can't drink. So, you know, it's just a
Honestly,
totally random conversation, but it just brought that out in my mind right now. I was like,
and it's
yeah, I was like,
that's fair. I think it is fair, but at the same time, I just drink that. I mean, and you actually kind of do make a good point, just because obviously, say Philadelphia is to win the MLS Cup or win some sort of trophy. I don't know if they're in the running for any trophies right now. Obviously MLS Cup if they make the playoffs, but like, what do you do? What does Cave? And I mean, but yeah, same thing here, because like the age of to be drinking is 21 here in the United States. So like, those guys just can't partake, which is kind of funny because you mentioned this, and you remember Olivia Moultrie, you remember her, the 13-year-old that was playing for the Portland Thorns. I believe still is playing for the Portland Thorns, and I believe she was 15 now at the time. She was 15, and she was playing. I think the Portland Thorns won the NWSL Cup, right? And so all her teammates are obviously doing the beer showers because they just won a championship. And there's Olivia Moultrie just like in the corner, because I mean she's 15, so she shouldn't even be touching any alcohol, let alone being sprayed on. Yep. And she's just there like thumbs up, being happy for their teammates. So I think that obviously that's kind of, and that is an interesting question, because obviously like you make a valid point about Europe, like the age to consume is a lot lower compared to here. But also, I don't know, man. Like I think there's honestly like, I feel like maybe here in the United States, maybe we should raise the age now. And I'm not saying that just because now I'm 30, 34, where it doesn't really apply to me. But like I was 21 once, and I was an idiot. So like, and I'm still am. But like, I don't know. To me, but it is kind of hard when everything else promotes drinking, right? Like even these guys, when like I said, when they win a championship, what are they gonna do? They're gonna drink. So like what kind of message are we giving to Caven, or even I believe Quinn's still not 21. So like, what are we telling these guys? That's that's just leading to like an even deeper conversation for another day. But yeah, that's a valid point, Edward. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that one.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. I was like, it just brought it to my attention. It's like it kind of makes sense in a way. I guess you could call it like, kind of like a man's law. I'm not trying to, go against women of anything whatsoever. The WNBA or anything like that. The NWSL. I'm just saying because I think that's how it first started in England. You know what I mean? Like all these men playing with these boys, and of course the men don't like being done. Like get chopped by. It's the same everywhere. It's the same in every freaking country. Even in Sunday leagues, you get this one young kid. He's fast. He's got speed. He's got talent and everything. And you got all these old dudes. Just I'm gonna end up breaking him down because I don't like that he's doing that to me. It just happens.
No, yeah, it just happens, but we'll see what happens, man. I guess now Philadelphia and Inter Miami are gonna have like a rivalry with each other, but we'll see how that all progresses. But all right, moving on to the next topic, and that is of course the Nations League, which I'm sure Edward, you and I are big fans of this competition. Um, but here we are, man. So if you guys don't know, the Nations League is kind of another international basically this was FIFA's attempt to maybe give meaning to the friendlies. I think a lot of people have conflicting thoughts when it comes to friendlies because you're calling up guys playing for their clubs. You're calling them up to play a friendly, which maybe in many people's eyes it's a meaningless match. Obviously, if you ask like a manager of an international team of a national team, like for instance, Zinedine Zidane right now with France, or Thomas Tuchel with England, or Carlo Ancelotti with Brazil, or even Mauricio Pochettino with the United States, with Rafa Marquez with Mexico. Like those matches are really important to them because especially now as they're moving on to the 2030 cycle, right? As they're now prepared, now they have to prepare for that. They want to see who should be under who's going to be on that 26-man roster come 2030. And that's what the friendlies help. But obviously, like sometimes, yeah, I get it. It does seem weird that we're calling these guys up, we're risking injuries for a match that maybe has really little to no meaning besides just trying to gauge where this player is. Can they handle the international level of the game? And that's when FIFA brought in Nations League, and UEFA decided to partake in it, and CONCACAF as well. If you guys don't know, UEFA is so obviously for people that aren't familiar with confederations, so FIFA is the governing body of everything that is professional football. Just think of it like that. Then you have your regions. You have UEFA, who is Europe, CONCACAF, that's North America and the Caribbean, Central America and the Caribbean, CONMEBOL, which is South America, AFC, which is the Asian region and Australia for some reason. Yeah, the OFC, which is Oceania, so like New Zealand and those countries in that region. And then you have CAF, which is obviously Africa. So those are essentially like the governing bodies of that region, but all fall under FIFA. Hopefully that makes sense, especially to people that are learning about the game. But UEFA, Europe, and CONCACAF, North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, all do Nations League. CONMEBOL doesn't do one. CAF doesn't do one, as far as I know. AFC doesn't do one, and neither does Oceania. And so we're the only two regions that do a Nations League. And it's gotten mixed reviews, right? Like, it went from, what's the point of playing these meaningless matches? Like, why are we playing this stupid competition that really holds no meaning? Don't you love
Yeah.
people, Edward?
Yeah. Um, I mean, it's. I guess you could say, in a way, um, I, I don't know, man. In a way, um, with this whole trying to mix the UEFA and CONCACAF together kind of stuff. Um, it's just I don't know, bro. Like I feel like it would be like I guess a World Cup every year, so it wouldn't be as special. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Hmm. I
That's
guess
how
so.
I see it.
No,
That's
I
how
guess
I
so.
see it.
No, I guess so. But yeah, so obviously both have different. They both do essentially the same process, right? They have like different leagues. You get to the A League, you get to compete for the Nations League trophy. I
Yeah.
believe, obviously, CONCACAF, the last country to win it was Mexico. UEFA, was that Portugal? Yeah, I think it was Portugal that beat
Yeah.
Spain or something like that. Something along those
Hmm.
lines. So yeah, so that's where we're at. And so they're like, oh, we're hearing all these complaints. Well, why don't we merge these two nations leagues together? We'll have CONCACAF versus UEFA, and we'll mix the groups, with them. And I think this only benefits one region, and I don't think it's hard to figure out which region it benefits. But it's CONCACAF, obviously, and I think this is kind of CONCACAF's way of responding to the rumors of how Mexico wants to go to CONMEBOL. I believe even the U.S. has even thought about going to CONMEBOL,
Yeah.
going down to CONMEBOL and, obviously increase their level of competition because obviously right now in CONCACAF, it's just USA, Canada, and Mexico, and whatever Central American nation wants to be the flavor of the year, right? Now we have
Right.
more so Panama. Back then used to be Costa Rica. So it just depends what's that next country that will be that new one. Um, and honestly, like UEFA, obviously it's the strongest confederation. It's not
Yeah.
even close. It's levels upon levels. I mean, everyone's watching, the Euro. Everybody's watching. The fact that UEFA has majority of the slots for the World Cup should tell you how important UEFA is to FIFA. And so I think with maybe could be beneficial to them, maybe just more view. I don't know. I don't see where UEFA wins in this argument. Um, but I mean, for CONCACAF, I think it benefits. Right now, you have countries where like El Salvador, Guatemala, who are kind of close to finally figuring things out to be kind of a serious contender for a World Cup spot. Um, now they get to go up against maybe not show against like the likes of France, Portugal, and England, but against a Malta, a San Marino, maybe that's
Mm,
where they get a chance to like really see where they are as far as like the lower parts of Europe. And I mean, for the US and Mexico and Canada, I mean, this is their chance to say like we can compete with the upper echelon countries, So it will be interesting how this tournament transpires, like especially once we get to the tournament portion where how far does Mexico go? How far does Canada go? How far does the USA go? Versus when you have to go up against once again France, Spain, um,
yeah.
you know. So it's going to be an interesting challenge, but we'll see how it's going to be structured. Obviously, UEFA was looking to make some changes, which was making it like an 18-team league. So I don't know. Does this at all intrigue you to watch Nations League, or you just feel like they just need to go back to friendlies?
I think it's just friendlies, honestly. Because okay, so Cotton Bowl, we already know that's all South America. And like you said, Mexico was showing interest in going down to Cotton Bowl and everything. Um, it just let's put it this way: if Mexico goes to Cotton Bowl and everything, you got Canada, USA, like you said, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama. Um, it's just to me the clear favorite. If you have that, it'd be US and Canada all the time. And then um, you lose technically the Mexico fan base. You lose money wise, like monetary value speaking. You lose all of the friendly sales. You lose all of the friendly matchup ticket sales of um, jersey sales from that. from that area. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's just everybody basically already clear favorites. I mean, this is just speaking for me. The Euro snob, as you call it. Europe teams, if they go against like U.S., Canada, and stuff, it would be a good, I guess you could say, trial for the U.S. But I feel like the friendlies should just be it should just be that that's what it should be, just friendlies right now at this moment. Because if they're gonna end up doing this stuff, like I said, it's just gonna be like a mini World Cup, and then later on for the World Cup, these teams that you think would qualify because they're a part of like CONCACAF and stuff like that, if they end up putting CONCACAF together with like UEFA and stuff like that, it's just they're gonna end up. I'm sorry to say, they're more than likely gonna end up losing even to a brand new team that just came into the World Cup from Europe. It's just Europe has so many strong teams internationally. Um, even a smaller team, like teams you don't even expect, somehow they end up pulling a win over England or friendly. It's something you don't expect. Like the World Cup qualifier kind of stuff. Um, I mean, I'm still sticking to it should just remain the same. But I mean,
I
it's
mean,
FIFA. It's
I
FIFA.
just, I just, I just don't know what UEFA gains from this. I really don't. I think this is more beneficiary for CONCACAF because, like I said, you get these countries more exposure. You're probably gonna get better, hopefully better money going in, which as great as some of these football federations need the money over there, and especially in Central America. You know how unfortunately how corrupted those federations are, where you probably don't even think that the money is even going to go to improve the anything with the players. But that's my big concern. But as far as like it improves CONCACAF, it helps improve CONCACAF. Like a country like Curacao maybe gets a little bit more funds their way. Maybe improves El Salvador. Maybe and I think maybe for some people like it'll be cool to see. I don't want to say any big countries like Iceland go travel to Guatemala, right, to play their Nations League match against Guatemala, or for vice versa for a lot like for El Salvador, it'd be really cool where they go to Greece, right? They get to go to Greece and experience being in a place that they're probably not normally wouldn't be imagining going to. But yeah, no, I really don't see how this benefits. For the people that say like, oh, CONMEBOL, South America and CONCACAF should like combine together, maybe that makes a lot of sense. Maybe, but like, I don't know if I should take about like a smaller European nation could beat like Guatemala. I don't necessarily agree with that one because I think, obviously the bigger countries, obviously England and all them. I agree to that part, but like I can't like I think San Marino would have a struggle if they had to play against Guatemala.
Yeah.
So like or a Malta having to go play against Jamaica. So like I think there's levels to it. Every region has like their lower countries. It's just that the higher the ceiling for CONCACAF is like maybe like that mid-tier European nation. But like because but I don't want to say that take that jazz because obviously Mexico I think always has done such a good job of like playing up to their level of their competition, which I mean we saw that in the England game. So I don't want to take too much credit away from Mexico. USA scares the death out of me, just because like they haven't really had that signature victory at all. So
Yeah.
aside from beating Spain in the Confederations Cup, but like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that there's like I don't necessarily this merger is a good idea in general. I mean for CONCACAF it's a great idea. For UEFA, it makes absolutely no sense for them to be even partaking with it. They gain nothing from coming to unless they just want to like push the hell out of ticket sales in the United States. That's the only really thing I can only think of like for them to do this even this idea of merging the nations leagues. But
Do you think that maybe the players didn't get enough of ranch, so they're like, let's try to come up with an idea so we can get more ranch?
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what
They want to get all the fast foods, all the junk food. They want to pack up as much as they can.
Maybe, man. I have no idea. So, but that is the Nations League, and then we're gonna end this with some more transfers. We're getting closer and closer to that transfer window closing. Obviously, near the end of the month, and there has been some huge announcements. So, Edward, do you want to go straight to your Barca boys, or do you want to go with Suzuki first?
Let's go straight to the Barca because I have a feeling we both have a little bit to talk about that.
Okay, I mean, all right. So it has been announced; it's official. João Cancelo is going to be staying at Barcelona. I say staying because he came in halfway through last season when obviously Barcelona was in desperate need of a fullback. João Cancelo, I believe, left his club in Saudi Arabia. I think he was in Saudi Arabia before he went to Barcelona. And honestly, when me and Edward, when we talked about when they had João Felix and João Cancelo, and I asked him, out of the Jows, who would you rather have? And he said Cancelo. I think it makes the most sense. Cancelo, what he provides at the fullback position, I just don't think Barcelona has a guy like that. Obviously, he helps a lot with the depth issues that, as far as like the fullback position goes for Barcelona. He's very good, and he clearly very much loves Barcelona. So, which means that he was willing to take whatever offer they give him for him to go play for Barcelona. So, great addition for them. It really solidifies a little bit more defensively. I mean, he was already there. I don't know why this has to be like an announcement. Like he's been there. They just like sign him to a longer term deal. But I mean, good for them. I think João Cancelo adds more experience to that back line, which is something that Barcelona really needs, especially to fix the big mistakes that they have when it comes to the high line. And that is having people
run
that
back.
have the understanding that, hey, we can't, hey, Lookman's there.
Yeah. So, oh my God, dude.
I keep saying that because Lookman just had like some great games against Barcelona. That's the only reason why I keep poking at that.
He ran through. That's what basically it was.
Yeah, if only Mbappe could figure that out.
But the thing is also, so he stayed at Barca, but because the paperwork wasn't completely finished, the registration wasn't handed in time, they could not present him along with like Anthony Gordon. So yeah, it was sad. I'm pretty sure the video circulated all over in all social medias. He was very visibly upset, very. And even Lamine Yamal was like sitting on the stairway. He's like, "Hey, aren't you gonna go?" And he's just like, he said no because this, and this, and then he just kept walking back. And I felt for him because I'm like, he already basically put himself on the map right there for Barcelona, for the fans. The fans already know him. They love him. They love what he actually brought to the back line, like you said. And, I'm not going to say that he's like a Puyol in the sense of like leadership, but he's in the vicinity of there. Like he does command the respect. And I mean, they respect him as a player and as like a team captain. So
I think he's a good addition. Now, like you said, he's not the perfect leader, but they did bring in my opinion, the perfect leader, and it pisses me off more so than anything else.
For Barca, yeah, and it showed too.
And the possibility is, so the rumors were very much strong that Real Madrid was going to secure Rodri, and funny enough, Edward's storyline, right, that he's going to be following through is just how each club can continue to gouge each other as far as like the marketing cost goes. And I mean, even though you guys really had no control over Diomande, you could thank PSG and Liverpool for why Diomande is worth the amount that they made him be worth. But Rodri obviously was set to go to Real Madrid. He's like at the last year of his contract, to the point where Barcelona was like, well, we need to swoop in. We are in desperate need of a six. We desperately need someone that's experienced enough in the back line that can help the back line, especially in those counterattack situations, which once again is probably like the biggest downfall to the high line.
Yep.
And so we need someone that knows, one, has command of the back line, but secondly, can just move the ball in a way that they're kind of been missing. And yes, you have Pedri, right? Yes, you have whoever you
Cubarsí.
want to throw on that other side, whether it's a Frankie De Jong or is Frankie De Jong still on the team?
He's still there, but I think he may be injured. That's why he
Oh,
hasn't
okay,
been there.
okay. So obviously Gavi, you have Fermin Lopez, who, let's be honest, man, the kid
Dude,
has my
that dude
respect.
is a yo.
As much as I hate to say that, and that one Marin kid that pisses me off a lot.
Oh, Martin.
Yeah, Martin, I hate that kid. But you bring in Rodri, who you could make an argument might be your instant captain. I
Yep.
don't want to say it like that because I don't want to disrespect, obviously, what Barcelona has built. But I mean, immediately is that guy that garners respect. I mean, he had an amazing World Cup. Weirdly enough, could make a valid argument for the Ballon d'Or, even though he was injured most. Of last season. Had an amazing World Cup. So, me and Edward mentioned this Ballon d'Or. It's so wide open that Rodri could just swoop right in and win it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's not. It's no longer like just between two players anymore. That's the thing. That's the beauty of this right now. It's no
well, that
longer.
and just no one had like a crazy great season. Like
Yeah.
even Dembele, like Dembele probably is the front runner right now, in my opinion. If asking me, like I'd probably say Dembele right now. He was phenomenal with France in the World Cup. He had another great year, mind you. Also, PSG rotated the hell out of their squad, which is why they won,
Yeah.
why they were able to repeat the Champions League. But at the same time, like Dembele still did what Dembele does, right? He still scored goals. He still contributed all the things that you want from Dembele. So you can make a valid argument that Dembele could also win the Ballon d'Or. But the way Rodri played in the little amount of time that he did has
Yep.
his worth as well. Should it be given to him? Absolutely not. It's gonna piss off everybody. I mean, like, but it's a valid argument. But yeah, Rodri. I mean, the only thing I would say that at least for Barca fans that maybe aren't too thrilled about, you did pay a lot for a guy that I just mentioned was out most of the last season for injuries. But obviously, we know when healthy, this guy is
That
your
guy is.
best six ever.
He is. Yeah. He is. He's offer. He's up there. Like I mean, I don't want to say, oh, he's like Iniesta, Xavi caliber, but the thing is, the way that he looks at the field and the way where he moves to defend and even to help the attack, like that's something that I have not seen in a while. I could say that, but he, like you said, he basically, it's like as soon as he walked in, everybody was like, yeah, respect, respect. Like even Lamine Yamal,
Mm-hmm.
who's we both know he's cocky, respect him, and
Yeah,
it was shown in the World Cup. So I
yeah, and
think that's gonna be
that's another thing is like you just added another person from that Spanish national team because Dani Olmo, Rodri, Lamine Yamal, so much familiarity with each other.
oh yeah,
It's great. I mean, Barcelona is damn near perfect. I say damn near perfect for the whole reason of that nine still needs to be addressed. I think if that's the one thing, unless they're going with that Egyptian kid, the kid from La Masia, which
oh yeah.
me and Jose we were talking about it at Cosm, and because I told him and Edward knows this, I was like, I'm sure there's some kid in La Masia that's gonna torture me for the rest of my life. That and Jose mentioned this Egyptian player that I think he did really well in the preseason, so
Yeah.
might be him. So that might be torturous. Though I will have to, before we move on to Zion Suzuki, I gotta ask, like, because I sent you the rumors, right?
Yep.
Balogun,
I mean,
25th most influential.
oh
Rated
man,
higher than Rafinha.
that is wild. But okay, look, listen.
Most
He's a
influential player of the World Cup.
he is he's a good striker, and with the proper people, and we saw this with the proper people to feed
I
him
will
the
say he
ball.
does fit. He does fit to Barca.
Yes, he would fit to that play style. He Let's put it this way, he has that same like speed that Rafinha shows, like that
Mm-hmm.
same, I want to keep chasing the ball and just score. Like he has that. So it's like if you shoot the ball all the way from the defense all the way to the front, he's gonna run for it. And like I said, you feed him the ball where he needs it at, where he feels that most comfortable at. It'll be like it's I won't say certified goal. It'll be like a sure. It'll be a sure goal. It will be a sure goal. Like I feel like he just needs to be in a
I mean,
team that can actually feed him
because I
the
mean,
ball, the passes.
you're giving him great tools, right? You got
Yeah,
Lamine Yamal on the right, on the left Rafinha, unless he gets sold to
or
somebody,
Anthony
or
Gordon.
Gordon, or Anthony Gordon, or
And Gordon. That's the
Adeyemi.
thing. No, that's the thing. Anthony Gordon has shown that he's not just gonna run in with the ball and then try to shoot it. He's shown in that he does the back pass. He does like reverse passing. He does pass down the middle to where people could actually touch the ball into the into the goal, and just it's a goal. But people were not reading that, and that's the thing. The players weren't reading that, but it's
Well,
proven. It's shown.
yeah. And then on top of that, you have Dani Olmo, you have Pedri, you have Rodrigo.
Yep.
So, yeah, if it was to happen, if Balogun does happen, I think there's someone threw out a rumor that Hansi Flick immediately said no, which I don't know if that's really true or not. I think someone's just trying to cope that even Balogun's even in this conversation. But because I mean, at this point, Julian Alvarez doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I could use my words right here, but I mean, and man, did we what a walk off for him. If you guys didn't watch the Atletico Madrid game, you could very much tell that Julian Alvarez is not happy. As a matter of fact, when they did their player pictures, he was not smiling. That was the only time he's ever not smiled.
Yeah, he's usually like cheerful, happy,
yeah,
like a little kid.
Yeah, so he's pissed off. I think he really he's very been vocal about that he's wanted to make the move to Barcelona. It could still happen, but I think at this point, Atletico Madrid is asking for a lot of money, and I don't know if Barcelona can really get in on that. I know there's rumors that potentially Arsenal's looking to do a player swap plus some cash for Victor Gyökeres for Julian Alvarez, which that'll be very interesting if that happens. But yeah, no. So Barcelona, I think, like I said, damn near perfect. They're already going to be a good team. They're going to contend for the La Ligas as they should be. The big question isn't so much about La Liga or even Copa del Rey. It's just going to be Champions League for Barcelona, and I think you shirt up that back line, which is going to help, especially when you get into those matchups against teams that could probably expose the high line a little bit better. But I don't think anybody's really worried about the goal scoring part. Like even without a 9, I think Barcelona is still going to score very well. Hell, throw Dani Olmo in there. To me, it doesn't really. And I hate that I'm freaking hyping this team up like I am right now. This is bullshit. Sorry for cussing, but here we are. Yeah. So yeah. Anything you want to say before we move on to Suzuki?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you pretty much covered it. I can't fight you on that one.
Yeah, dude. I hate this. I hate that. Why do I have to be a fan of the sport? Why can't I just be a hater?
But it's just like me. It's just like me. Like you and Real Madrid. Like I already know. I told you I wanted Bellingham for Barca, but he fits really well at Real Madrid.
No, it's true. I just, I just wish I could go back to the days of just being a fan and hate watching. But now, thanks to this show, I can actually, I am a fan of some of these players. Like, I don't hate Rodri. I wanted him. It's funny because I did want him at Real Madrid, and now, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, Real Madrid got a 2-1 victory against Espanyol. So, which, you know what I will say, and Edward could probably agree to this. I'm glad I got that out of the way. I'm glad we got Espanyol out of the way already because I hate that team. They're so annoying. If for people who probably don't watch football regularly, especially La Liga, Espanyol is one of those teams that could ruin your season. So
yeah,
got that matchup out of the way. Won't see them till the second half of the season. and then I'll deal with them when that time comes. You still got to deal with them. So, which I'm sure they're gonna win. Y'all gonna win 3-0. So, but yeah, and then the last transfer, the big one is obviously Zion. Well, not the big one, but Zion Suzuki, which is crazy. This kid was linked originally to PSG.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we're talking about basically another Diamande effect. Because if you guys don't remember, Diamande was linked to PSG. That didn't pan out. So then he went. Then it was linked to Liverpool. That didn't pan out either. And then he got 100 whatever, way too much money to go to Real Madrid to just be on the bench. So that's how he got here. But I mean, he looked okay. He looked okay.
You know what's funny? The way he had his hair, because he had the same that I guess that the black cap. It just reminded me of Lookman, and I was just like, oh god, the doppelganger.
He's like, I got another African in Madrid that's going to torture me in the attack.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually think he'll do a lot for y'all. It's just y'all have to figure out what that front.
That's going to be the thing, right? Is the figuring out how he's going to fit in. What is Jose Mourinho's vision for them? So yep. I agree with you with that. But Zion Suzuki, which if you guys don't know, he is Japanese. I believe has an American father, but which is always the fun thing to mention because there's always going to be that one U.S. men's national team fan like, oh, we should have got him. The guy, if you listen to any of the interviews that he's been in, he says he's Japanese. And out of respect to Zion Suzuki, he's Japanese. Yes, he's Japanese American. Yes, I get it. But he plays for the Japanese national team, was part of the Japanese national team during the World Cup. And yeah, no, he's a solid keeper. Last season, he was with Parma. He was set to go to PSG, which I thought was crazy. PSG moving away from another goalkeeper after one season. But, Chevalier unfortunately didn't pan out due to an injury. But hey, it looks like he's going to be the guy between the sticks for PSG because, well, no deal panned out for them to get a keeper. But he ends up getting a move to Aston Villa, which, if you guys don't know, they just played against Brighton. It was a 4-0. Was it 4-0? I think it was 4-0.
I believe so.
I may have over-exaggerated, but I did. I was watching the game. As I was making breakfast. I'm like, I saw this. Yeah, it was 4-0. He wasn't playing. He didn't play, right? Because obviously the golden rule is you never start the guy that you just signed.
Yep.
But yeah, so Zion wasn't playing. He was on the bench, but obviously you're not going to sub in a goalkeeper unless it's like really dire. But
like really bad, really bad situation where like you got your main keeper and your reserve keeper. I will say though,
losing 4-0 at the first half might be the dire situation of making a substitution. Even though once again the guy hasn't been acclimated with the team, maybe a little bit of a stretch to bring him in. But there is another goalkeeper that Aston Villa, right? At least as far as I know. He did not play in this game, and that is obviously Debo Martinez. And no one knows
that is a story for God. Like I don't know, man.
He was supposed to go to Juventus.
He was supposed to go to Juventus. He was linked heavily to Manchester United. Neither of those panned out. And
Juventus got Vicario from Tottenham, which this is gonna sound stupid, but it makes sense to me because he's Italian. So that sounds probably like, what the hell does that mean? I don't know. Like, I feel like more club teams need to try to like sign players from their country. It sounds stupid, I get it, but it made more sense to me. Plus, I think Vicario works more towards what Juventus should be doing. I'm not gonna say is doing because it's a massive headache over there. But
it's
teeter-tottering. He has to go, right? He has to leave. He needs to leave Aston Villa. Like, he's not going to be the starting goalkeeper for Aston Villa. And this time it's not even that awkward because the other time he was waving everybody goodbye. But this guy needs to go. I just don't know where.
I feel like the Sun would probably make a story about that and be like the long-awaited goodbye. Like, that would be the title of the story. The long-awaited goodbye. And then they'll probably post the picture of like 2 years ago and then the picture of like when he's actually walking out with the
I
like,
think the big problem with Debo and you either love him or you hate him.
yeah.
There is no in between. I don't think there's like a neutral person on Debo Martinez. You either love the guy or you despise him. And I've met people that despise him. I am
Yeah.
on the side of I think this guy is the
You-
greatest keeper that we have ever got to witness because he just
his
makes material.
celebrations.
The dude is just a
celebration.
material machine. Like I
He
mean,
humped the Golden Glove.
well, but plus I mean that as well. But like he's not a bad keeper. Like
No,
he's not terrible.
He's done some crazy saves. That's the thing. It's
yeah, I mean, mind you, the World Cup, a lot of the shots that Spain was shooting at him was directly to him. But
Yeah.
but like I mean, he's provided some good moments for not only for Argentina but for I mean, even when he got his first opportunity with Arsenal, like he stepped in when Leno got hurt and kept things going for Arsenal. Fortunately, he left, went to Aston Villa, but like. Yeah, I don't. The thing is, I think maybe he's hoping that he can get like a massive club opportunity, which obviously Manchester United, Juventus, you would feel like those were big opportunities for him. But maybe at this point in Debo, I believe is in his 30s. This is great podcasting right now. Oh, he's 33. Oh, that's not bad for a goalkeeper.
No, I mean, think about it. Casey Keller, remember?
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
yeah, man,
Edwin van der Sar, he was in I think his late 30s. I think he even got to 38, I think, when he left Man U.
I think the real question is just like, what's the realistic option for him? Like, where can he go? Where can he land?
Honestly, with the resume that he has, I mean,
because like I said, I think there's people that don't believe he's a good keeper, and then there's people that do believe he's a good keeper. But like when you think of like the big clubs, like Manchester United is set. Like I don't know why that he was linked to Manchester United to begin with because Lamin, he's a good keeper.
Yeah,
he's a good keeper. Like right now he's not starting for Belgium, and it's only because Thibaut Courtois there. That's just not fair. But it's like Ter Stegen who he was never going to be the goalkeeper for Germany because Manuel Neuer is there. I mean Arsenal has Raya, which some people may think he's good, some people may not think he's good, but it does help that he has like a really solid back line to help minimize any mistakes that he could make. Chelsea's okay. I don't think Chelsea's in a bad situation.
I'll be honest, bro. I'll be honest. I don't think any major club. If anything, I would think Saudi League or China Super League.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, when you think of like the big clubs in all the leagues, I just don't think they need a goalkeeper.
No, not at this moment.
So I mean, unless he wants to play for like a mid-tier side, which maybe that's not what he wants. He wants to lift a league title.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. It is what it is, man. But we'll see what happens, man. Obviously, transfer window is going to be closed up near the end of the month. By next week, basically.
I hope he gets picked up. He needs to. Yeah, I just hope he does because that's the thing. It's like I don't want him to just be sitting, riding the pine the whole way through the whole season, and then until next transfer period or whenever his contract's up. It's like I said, he's got a pretty good resume. But honestly, if anything, Saudi League, J League, the Super China League, like dude, like that, they pay buku money over there, and especially for big names.
Yeah, we'll see how all that transpires, man. But yeah, man, that's headlines. Obviously, we're gonna take a quick break and then go right into players of the week. So be ready for that.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
All right, guys, players of the week. And we have a double Roma edition of players of the week for this one. And we have Paulo Dybala, who is Edward's player of the week, who had 3 assists in Roma's 4-0 victory against Fiorentina. And my player of the week is Daniel Malen, who scores 3 goals, all assisted from Paulo Dybala in Roma's 4-0 victory against Fiorentina. So big victory, big start to the season for Roma. Obviously, I have high hopes for this club, and I hope that they're able to do it and live up to it, especially because I'm a big Gasperini guy. But congratulations to Roma, to the Roman players, Paulo Dybala, who clearly still has it, and Daniel Malin for being our players of the week. So there's that. We'll take one more break and then go right into ending this show.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for listening to episode 262. I want to give, before we get to that, I don't know why. So obviously, like I said, every episode, we are now having a random question being asked to us. And so this is the question that we got, and that is, the question is, if Edward or Roosevelt switch clubs tomorrow, which one would bother me more? Edward becoming a Real Madrid fan or Roosevelt becoming a Real Madrid fan? All right. I will say, okay, well, look, Spencer is still like, you know, in the well, I don't want to say it's early because I mean he jumped on Atletico. He's become an Atletico Madrid fan since 2020. So 6 years, man. He's 6 years been supporting Atletico Madrid. So I don't want to say that it is like new to him by any means. But I would argue that for Spencer, being that he is more newer of a fan, maybe it wouldn't bother me as much if Spencer were to jump ship. Obviously, switching from Atletico Madrid to Real Madrid would be very sacrilegious, especially if you're an Atletico Madrid fan. But I think for him, I don't feel necessarily as shocked as it would be if it was Edward, especially Edward being his whole life being a Barca fan, like him supporting Barcelona. If you guys kind of wanted a quick story of how me and Edward how I became a Madridista and how Edward became a Barca fan. We both grew up on watching the Brazilian national team because El Salvador was horrendous. And at the time, we weren't really big U.S. men's national team supporters. So our parents always taught us to love Brazil. So we always watched Brazilian football. And obviously, in that era, we were drawn to 2 players specifically, Ronaldo Nazario, El Fenómeno, and Ronaldinho. And so me and Edward being kids, we go out in the backyard, we'd be playing, he'd be pretending to be Ronaldinho doing the little tricks and all that. And I would just be putting in the back of the net like Ronaldo would. Funny enough, I never played striker. Whenever I did play, I played center back or fullback. But, when we were kids, we're pretending to be Ronaldo and Ronaldinho. And so eventually one of us finally had a console system. Well, to be more precise, we didn't have a Nintendo. We finally got like a PlayStation. And so we finally got a copy of FIFA. And we were obviously, trying to, pick a team to play with. And we eventually, I think we discovered the search feature to like find a player. And that's when we found that Ronaldo played for Real Madrid and Ronaldinho played for Barcelona. And so from there, Edward obviously being more of a Ronaldinho fan, he started playing with Barcelona on FIFA. Me being more of a Ronaldo fan, I was playing more with Real Madrid. And obviously, as time went on, we kind of identified more with the players that were in those teams. And that's how, to this day, Edward, it was a Barca fan and I became a Madridista. And to where that's where our allegiance have gone. And I mean, Edward, I think if Edward were to switch to Real Madrid, which would be the funniest thing ever, is that I don't think Edward has ever really agreed with the strategies of Real Madrid. Like, I think he was more inclined to the strategies of Barcelona as far as the utilization of La Masia. Obviously, the culture of tiki-taka obviously kind of is more to what Edward likes doing. And so, not saying that I'm someone that just loves buying every player humanly possible. And that's not really what I'm saying. But I think when it came down to it, I'm not saying that I'm more in line with Real Madrid, but I support Real Madrid. I understand their strategy, and Edward, obviously, like I said, he loves finding the next big thing. He gets excited about that. I mean, remember at the time, Ronaldinho was it. He was the 10. He was Barcelona through and through, and then came Lionel Messi, and then so Edward got to see Lionel Messi from the beginning, from the jump, like when Messi was wearing number 30. That era of Messi, and then obviously switching over to the player, then he eventually became the 10 and the star of Barcelona. So I think for Edward, it's a lot more rewarding for him to be part of that era of Barcelona and kind of, was there like some tough times, especially going through the financial struggles of Barcelona? Sure. I mean, who wouldn't say that? But, with Edward's commitment to Barcelona for over the years, I think that would bother me more than anything else is like, you've been right. It's like watching someone date. I wouldn't say like be in a relationship with someone for so many years through the thick and thin, and then just out of nowhere just said, you know what, I'm done with her. I'm moving on to something else. And so, and it's just like, and it'd be like, for the reason to switch over, it was like for the dumbest thing humanly possible. And so I would probably be more bothered by Edward switching to Real Madrid because, one, he's been a Barca fan since we were kids. So like, I can't think about that number. But just know it was the era when Ronaldo Nazario and Ronaldinho were the stars of Brazil. So just remember that part. Like 02, 05, like somewhere around there. And so, it would be sacrilegious. It would be sacrilegious I think it would probably bother me a lot more if it was that we're making the switch from Barca to Real Madrid. But, I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think it's an interesting question. Once again, guys, go into the comments. Go into the comments of this YouTube video if you got to here, and send us your random question. Also, man, shoot us a message on social media, on Instagram, X, Facebook, even LinkedIn. You want to shoot us a message and tell us a question they want to know. Mind you, guys, the questions that we'll be answering are involving the sport that we will love, which is obviously football. Talk about insert name FC as a whole, and even like our friendships between me and Edward and Spencer. Like anything around those realms, it's got to be centered towards the game or the podcast. And like I said, we would love to hear your questions and answer them to you. So, and we'll give you guys a shout out, of course. This person wanted to stay anonymous. So, and we will also respect that as well. So, man, with all that being said, man, shout out to Belly Up Sports, man. Check out their website, bellyupsports.com. Follow them on Instagram, X, Facebook at Belly Up Sports. Also check out their YouTube channel, Belly Up Sports. Like, subscribe. Make sure you guys click out that notification bell as well, so you guys can know when these videos are dropping as well, man. So be on the lookout for that. But also shout out to Roosevelt Spencer. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, then those beats that you're hearing right now are made from Roosevelt Spencer. So if you guys like the beat work done, and maybe you're getting into podcasting, maybe you're going into YouTube, or maybe you're an aspiring musical artist and you need some sick beats, well, hit up Spencer on Instagram at That Guy Dope. Once again, at That Guy Dope, and he will take great care of you like he always does with us, man. We love Spencer so much that we named our Player of the Year award after him because we love him. So with all that being said, man, thank you so much for listening to 262. Catch us next week for 263, where I'm sure there's more stuff to talk about in the world of footy. I mean, transfer window is going to be closed by that point, so we'll probably talk some transfer window stuff as well. So with all that being said, man, take care, guys. Thank you so much.